What's up, YouTube? So, in this topic, I'm gonna talk about relatable situations when you're the black sheep of the family, or if you're like raised or around by a very toxic, dysfunctional family, right? If you don't know what the black sheep of the family means, it basically means like you're the outcast of the family, and usually you become the scam. Well, you're the outcast of the family, so usually you do the exact opposite of what your family is doing, right? So you usually stand out compared to your other families. Now, of course, we all stand out. Every human being stands out. We're all unique in our own different ways. But what I mean, like, basically, if you're the black sheep of the family, is like pretty much you're literally different from your family members. Like, I can't really explain. It's like your family members, they could think and see things from a certain way, right? But however, how you think certain from a, you look at shit different from a different way, but not in a bad way. Like, for example, like your family members, they're you can't be the black sheep of the family if family's not toxic. Pretty much. I mean, your family could be could be good and not dysfunctional, but you can still be the black sheep. But this video is more so if you're the black sheep and your family's toxic as fuck, you know. So like, let's say for example, you're the rest of your family members, right? They're very violent. They look at shit from very toxic standpoint. They're very disrespectful. They lack communication skills. They lack emotional intelligence, and they treat other family members like shit, right? And they just normalize it. They lack boundaries, and they just speak up on it, right? Now, if you're the black sheep of the family, you're gonna look at that shit differently. You'll be the opposite. You'll be like, hey, no, wait, this is wrong. Why are you guys doing this? Why do you guys communicate like that? Why do you guys lack communication skills? Why do you guys lack emotional intelligence? You're not supposed to say this. That's disrespectful. And usually, black sheep of the family, they stand up for themselves, or they speak out against the family's corruption, the family's injustices, or how toxic the family members do certain shit. So usually black sheep of the family, they are usually the ones that are the most outspoken ones. They're usually the ones that call out bullshit if they see it, right? Now, at first, before I knew about being the black sheep of the family, and it's not even a label, it's just, but it's very relatable. Once I found that out, like, it's all over on YouTube. People talk about being a black sheep of the family, being a scapegoat of the family. Basically, a lot of other people also experience this as well. You'd be surprised on actually a lot of people they experience the same shit, which is divinely orchestrated, but that's a different topic. But usually when you're the black sheep of the family, then you become what's known as the scapegoats, right? Usually what the scapegoat is the family's punching bag, right? So all the insecurities, all the things your family members don't like about themselves, they'll project that towards you. Yes, you. So that's why when you feel like if you're feeling like, yo, am I tripping? Why is my family acting so retarded, so fucking stupid? Like, why are they always putting the blame on me? Then more than likely you're the family's scapegoats. Now, from my experience, this shit is really annoying. I had family members gang up on me, like literally, I had family members trying to fight me. They'll usually gang up on you. I'm not sure how it is in your story because we're all unique, but we all have different stories. But for me, at least, from my experiences, when I'll call out one of my family members disrespect or if I tell them they're wrong, then they'll gang up on me. Then they'll start hitting me, this and that. I've been through a lot of family fights where I had to defend myself. I had family members. What's really annoying too is they'll project their bullshit towards you, right? And when you call them out, then they play victim, right? And then when you tell other family members about what they've done to you behind closed doors, one, they won't believe you because for some reason, I never understood that. They won't believe you, right? But yeah, they'll believe other family members. So like the other family members that have done you wrong behind closed doors, they could lie to other family members saying that they did nothing wrong. Even after you confront that family member and you ask the other family members about that one family member that was projecting towards you, that was trying to fuck with you, they won't believe you, but yeah, they'll believe the other family member that's fucking with you pretty much. So I don't know why that shit happens, but that's how shit goes usually, and it's very fucked up. But there's a bunch of shit I've experienced, man. Again, I've said this in most of my videos too, but while I was in the military, right? So I was gone for like basic training and my AIT training, right? When I came back home to visit family, but at the time we had no beef, so everything was good. Um, my and not only that, but me and my family members, we have a history of like fighting and making up. But I think everything's cool. Usually on my part, usually I'll be the one that'll forgive them, but then they'll do some more fuck shit over and over again, right? But anyways, I came back from basic training, military training, then AIT. So I was gone for about 10 weeks. No, was it 10 weeks? No, I was gone for about 20 weeks, right? About 20 and a half weeks. So then I decided to visit family members. No, actually, no. Yeah, 20 weeks. So I visited family members, and then they were invading my personal belongings. They had no boundaries for you, and they could be aware. I'm not sure they. I doubt they do this shit on purpose, but they're very stupid in the mind. They're very dumb mentally, so they're not gonna. You can tell them bound. You can set up boundaries. Tell them this is wrong, this and that. They're still not gonna listen because it's a curse. This is where you get your generational curses from. Like I could go on and on. There's so much. It's bullshit, but there's a spiritual side to it, man. And no, I didn't make this up. I got these from other YouTubers where there's a spiritual side to it, and they came up to the conclusion that it's a generational curse. I know I'm all over the place, but if you just look up generational curses, toxic family dynamics, dysfunctional families, you'll see how it's gonna tie up to generational curses and spirituality. It's bullshit, man. I fucking hate it. I don't know why I signed up for this shit, but me, I'm very spiritual, so I look at shit from a spiritual perspective, right? But from my understanding and from other YouTubers, usually when you experience family dysfunction, more than likely because you're meant for great things in life, but you're meant to get away from your family's situation first. Now, me personally, I don't know why me and other people we experience dysfunctional families. Oh, I know why. It's because of to break generational curses. What generational curses means, according to other spirituality channels that I've learned so far, from my own understanding and conclusion, is the fact that what a generational curse is like basically your family's bloodline, your family's ancestors, right? They have a history of doing stupid shit, right? So they have a history of like dating bad partners that are bad for them. They have a habit of like dating or being married to and having kids with partners that aren't a good fit for them, or like with partners that refuse to do the healing work, like to go to therapy to heal their mental health, to heal their own issues, but yet they still reproduce children, and then that creates dysfunctional, toxic households, right? Because if two parents are constantly fighting and then they divorce, then it's gonna traumatize the kids, right? And then the cycle continues and continues. But these are minor details. It can go on and on. Like usually partners who aren't good for each other, but they still decide to marry each other or to have kids with each other, more than likely they're fucking stupid. Let's just be real, right? So of course they're not gonna teach their kids basic life skills on how to treat people with respect, on how to set boundaries for yourself, on how to drive a car, on how to save up for money, just basic life shit that you need to learn. More than likely, the father is not going to teach their kids how to be masculine, about how to become, like, to have that masculine energy. Let's say, for example, if they have a son, that father, more than likely, if they divorce, he's not going to be present. He's going to be an absent father, so he's not going to teach his kid how to set boundaries, how to stand up for yourself, how to fix a car, how a car works, how to save for finances, how to be disciplined, how to set your life up for success, and lacking masculinity, right? And then on the other hand, you have the female, which more than likely she has custody of the kids based on the system and the laws that are unfair, right? So more than likely, you have a very dysfunctional woman, right? And her stupid ass refuses to teaches her kids on how to nurture yourself, how to self-care for yourself, how to what else? Yeah, just how to love yourself, how to unconditionally love yourself, how to forgive yourself, all the nurturing aspects you need, like when it comes to being it's feminine energy. We all need feminine and masculine energies, right? From my understanding, so from other spiritual channels. So like you need to practice self-love for yourself. You need to have compassion for yourself. You need to nurture yourself, and it's important because like if you don't love yourself like that, then of course you can have a lot of shame, and that will create narcissistic personalities, and that's how you cause hell, and not only in your life but other people's lives as well. Now, again, I didn't make all of this up. I learned this from other spiritual channels, but me personally, I resonate with it. So I'm just here to share it to you guys. So you guys are also experiencing the same thing on what me and other people have to experience, right? And I'm just pretty much giving you guys confirmation or dishing this video out, right? Or I'm using my own words, so I might seem all over the place, right? And there's a spiritual side to it. But anyways, back to my story. So I was in basic, well, before I left to join the military, right? So one, I could get away from my family's toxic household, and two, so I could create a better opportunity for myself, because the military was the only gateway for me to create a better opportunity for myself, because my family, they didn't set me up for success, unfortunately. So now I gotta do things that I gotta do to take care of, to set my own up, just to set my own self up for success, right? So basically, before I left, right, I told my mom and my family not to throw away my over $1,000 worth of clothing, right? Worth of clothes. Because me, I like looking nice. I like nice clothes. I like nice things, right? I'm not materialistic or anything. I just like having nice shit, you know? But anyways, especially to my own personal belongings. And I bought these items with my own money by working in my own fucking jobs. Not job, multiple jobs, right? So then I told my mom, hey, since I'm leaving for basic training, please don't throw away my personal clothes. Don't throw away all of my over $1,000 worth of clothes. Honestly, it's probably worth like over 5K worth of clothes, probably even more. And I told her not to take any of my personal items. Don't steal any of my personal items, especially my clothes. Don't throw all my clothes away. Keep my clothes the way it is. And my room is clean too. So before I left, I made sure my room was clean. And I told her, if you're gonna move anything from my room, that's fine, but just please let me know before you do that, so you won't accidentally throw the things I need away, or you won't accidentally steal or take it, right? So I told her that multiple times, very politely, very nicely. I told her so many times, and I told her, if you don't do that, then I will call the cops or the police, or I will take you to court, right? Because I do mean what the fuck I say, and the reason why I say all that is because I'm aware, and I know what my family members are capable of doing. They're not right ahead. They have a history of ganging up on me, fighting me, projecting their bullshit onto me. They have a history of like not taking accountability. They'll lie to other family members about me. They'll put smear campaigns, and there's a lot of physical and verbal abuse towards me, right? So this is why I had to remind my mom a lot, and this is why I mentioned court, you know. I didn't really mean it. I actually didn't mean it, but because I know what type of dumb shit she's capable of doing. So fast forward back, I completed my basic training, I completed my AIT and more additional training. So that was a total of like 20 and a half weeks total of me being gone from the house. I came back to visit family because again, at the time, there was no fighting at the time. And of course, like me, I always got to forgive them because they're fucking dumb. And I understand where they're coming from. They're just dumb. But so of course I gotta forgive them. So and that was the time I have tolerance with. I never had tolerance with them in the first place, but you know, I had no place to stay. I had no place to live at. And of course, I'm a human being, so of course I want to visit my family. But I didn't want to visit my family. I just want to get all of my shit and take it with me to my fucking barracks room, right? Because I don't like my family. I just came here to secure my shit, right? And to visit my friends too. Like I could care less about my fucking family members. No. But because of the things they've done to me, of course. But yeah, but fast forward, I found out that my mom, guess what she did? She threw away all of my clothes, over $1,000 worth of clothes, probably like 5K, 5,000 worth of clothes. She threw all that shit away. And she threw like all my nice sweaters, fucking jackets, like shirts, pants, nice dress shirts I like to wear to go out with my friends or go out on dates. So she threw all that shit away. My interview clothes, just all this shit, man. She also well, I had some clothes left, but like she threw away all of my nice clothes, and she threw a lot. She threw away like 90% of my clothes, so I like a little bit of clothes left, but still though, it's fucked up. Like you just don't do that. What else? But then she also took my supplies, and she took it to her room. She took my notebooks, my pens, pencils. She took my just basic personal items with me. She took it to her own room, and my laundry baskets were all over the place. I had my basic training military pictures that was all over the place. Like it was all over my room. Like I left it in the shelf somewhere, but then my pictures were all over the place. She had no respect for my personal belongings or for my personal items. It's fucked up, man. And like I don't want to get too much into it because I will in the future, but it's a lot to explain. And like the more I explain, the more it's triggering because that shit it's hurtful, and it pisses me off a lot, you know, because I just can't fathom how someone is that fucking dumb, that fucking stupid, and that cold hearted to the point where you will actually do some shit like that. Like if the average person were to experience what I had to experience, not just with family members, but from narcissistic people in general, I could so easily like go to jail, harm other people, rob a bank, fucking just all this crazy shit to people, right? But I decided not to. Instead, I decided to take the high road to learn how to heal myself, maybe even therapy in the near future to heal my traumas, heal my anger, a lot of anger, and just continuing being in the military and like trying to handle my business and just do the right thing, right? And hopefully create my own the life the way I want to, and hopefully manifest a lot of success and money to the point where I don't gotta deal with people like that, right? And one day, if I ever do decide to have a family, then I definitely don't want my kids to be around. First, I don't want my kids to be around my family members, but second, I'm gonna teach my kids all the things that no one taught me, or I don't want my kids to experience what I had to experience growing up, right? And I never want to repeat that dysfunctional cycle of bullshit, abuse, trauma, narcissistic abuse, and just dysfunction, at least from my own family, right? I don't consider my family members as part of my bloodline at all. I don't consider my other family members as my ancestors or part of me. I don't. Fuck them, you know? So if I ever have kids, I'm not gonna have them ever visit my other family members. They're not gonna know nothing about them because they don't deserve to. But not only that, but I'm gonna teach them I'm gonna teach them and show them the ways how it's the opposite of what I was raised in, you know? Like I can make a whole fucking hour video of like the things I've experienced with my family members, right? Probably like 2 hour videos, but yeah, but it was just shit like that, bro. Oh, and like not only that, but when I found out she threw away my clothes, my personal items, I confronted her, this and that, and then she tried to lie to me. She tried to dodge accountability, and then she'll say some slick shit like, oh, why are you always mad? Why are you so immature? Why are you this and that? When in reality, I was being calm towards her. I was calling her too. I was being calm to her. I was trying to be reasonable, but then she refused to take accountability. Then she was saying some smart-ass comments towards me. Then, of course, I got pissed, and then we both started arguing, both started yelling. And then I told her I was going to call the cops on them because I did told her before, if you do that shit, I will call the police and I will take you to court for doing shit like that. And they'll say shit like, oh, but you're a guest of the house. You don't have to be here, right? But in reality, first off, motherfucker, you put me into this world. You put me into a situation where you don't even have enough money to buy me your own car, or you don't even have the intelligence to even teach me how to drive a car. You don't but like it's just like why would you say, okay? So I mean I can't fathom that. It's bullshit because like how are you gonna throw away my personal belongings, right? Then when I confront you, one, you're gonna lie to me. Two, you're gonna say, oh, but you're just a guest in the house. You don't have to be here. Yeah, but does that give you a right to throw away my personal belongings, the things I bought with my own money? Of course, I was trying to get out the house. I have no say so. It's not my fault you put me to a fucked up situation to where you can't even like make money for your own self or for me, so I can have my own place, have my own car. What the fuck, like? But like, you see the logic behind that? Like, that sounds narcissistic, right? How are you gonna say how are you gonna disrespect me while I was gone serving my country, right? And I warned you multiple times not to mess or throw away any of my personal items. Let me know first. And you threw away my over $1,000 worth of clothes, put all my personal belongings all over the place, and fucking just take my shit and put it in your room. And when I confront you about it, you have the audacity to say, oh, I'm just a guest in the house. I don't have to be here. And I'm just like, that's not the point, you know? That's not the fucking point. But it's shit like that where that's the type of shit when you deal with narcissists. Like they'll say some shit that's out of context, you know, and like what the fuck's the point? Like this shit's hurtful, man, because it does feel like you're alone. Oh, and like, and then fast forward that, I got pissed when she said that, right? This and that. Moments later, she gave me well, I only called the cops on them, right? But I didn't because at the time I was so pissed, so I wanted to go work out outside to let off the steam. And my plan was to, once I'm done working out, I'll come back to the house. I'll wait till my mom and her stepdad come to the house because they're both were at a soccer game. So I was waiting for them to come to the house so I could tell them why would they do that. And then I was planning. Well, yeah, I was planning to tell them that, and I told them I was going to call the cops as soon as they get here. But like my plan was to first confront them and tell them why they would do some shit like that, and then I'll call the police so they could come, so I could tell them what happened, right? And the reason why I'm so defensive when I call the police like that because my family members, they have a history of like whenever I confront them, then they'll lay hands on me or like they'll fight me physically, or they'll try to what's the word? They'll try to provoke me into a response to where I get pissed off and then I'll get angry at them, you know. So that's one of the reasons why I want to bring the cops into the situation because I know what my family is capable of doing because like I said before, they're very stupid, right? But where was I? Oh yeah, but fast forward, right? So I got done working now. As soon as I was about to go to the house, guess who was there? The police was there. And like I didn't even call the police. I wasn't planning on calling them until I got to the house first and so I could tell my family, to tell my mom, my stepdad, hey, why would you guys do that? But no, they decided to call the fucking cops, right, before I got here. And then it's just shit like that, man. And then my colleagues told me, hey, do you want to stay at your grandma's house? And I'm like, sure. But then even one of the police members, they told me like, or the sheriff, they told me like, they don't want to even deal with my own mother because they didn't say it verbally, but I could tell, like, this is how he said it, because, like, I told him about my mom, this and that, and he's like, yeah, your mom just, like, I could tell, like, that cop, like, he expressed how annoyed he was with my mother, and, like, we both agreed, like, she was kind of, like, that, she's crazy, and, like, even the cop, he was like, I don't want to deal with her, like, you know, and, like, and I told him, I was like, yeah, I know, right, yeah, but, so they took me to my grandma's house. I think my mom blocked me too. She blocked me from her number. And not only that, but my mom, she has this history of blocking me from her number whenever I confront her. She lacks communication skills. She's very emotionally unavailable. So imagine how frustrating that could be when you have a mother who refuses to communicate and then she'll cause so much problems within the family households, right? And that's the story of my life where usually, I'm not saying she's the main reason why, because all my family members are very evil and narcissistic and fucking stupid, right? But my mom, she has a history of like setting up smear campaigns against me. She has a history of telling other family members about me without telling the full story. But long story short, I'm not gonna get too much into detail. I will in the future, but I don't got time and it's too triggering to begin with. If you're raised in a dysfunctional family, and if you ever talk about it, you know how triggering it could be because it's such a lonely experience. It's so fucking traumatizing. It's fucked up, but and it's very hurtful too. Cause like it's very hurtful, at least for me, because I'll never do the type of shit they'll do to me. Like, I don't even think about shit like that. I don't even have the audacity to do some shit, especially at your own kid, your own son. I don't give a fuck what age he is. At the end of the day, if you bring your kid into this world, you're supposed to support him. You're supposed to be with him. I'm not saying kiss his ass. Obviously, if he does something wrong, correct him in the right way, not in a dysfunctional, toxic way. But, like, you're supposed to have his back. You're supposed to be there for him. Supposed to have respect for his personal belongings, you know? You're supposed to teach him from right or wrong. You're supposed to teach him life skills about, like, how to be a man and how to use your feminine energy to nurture yourself and to heal yourself, right? You're supposed to teach basic shit like finances, the importance of saving your money, being disciplined, having goals, reaching your dreams, having desires that you want to fulfill. um, how to drive a car, how to fix a car, learning about the corruption of society and how to deal with society and the in and outs of society, the justice system, the court law, um, the rules of having custody of like what to expect when you're going through a divorce, this and that. Is just all those things I mentioned. My family members taught me none of those things. My real dad, I have a stepdad now, but I don't like calling him a stepdad. He's just a fucking asshole. Like my stepdad, I feel like he's very insecure and jealous of me. So like that's the reason why like he'll project his insecurities onto me. He'll talk shit. He'll throw some jabs here and there. Whenever like I'm around him, and it's just like, and that's a sign of jealousy too. And like he has and in the past he sucker punched me and shit, and he's like twice my size. So like just shit like that. But it's very crazy shit, man. But what was I gonna say? But yeah, but my real father, like, I feel like I'm gonna consider him sane. My most sane family member is my grandma, but even then, she's like there are times where like my mom will do me so wrong, and then my grandma will still pick my mom's side because obviously my grandma is her mother, so of course she's gonna defend her, even though I have all the facts on my grandma, on why my mother's being disrespectful and why she's corrupt. But it makes sense how my grandma would defend her because usually my mother, more than likely, the reason why she acts the way she is because her parents were fucked up in the head too, or like they lack basic parenting skills. And more than likely that came from my grandma. So of course she's gonna defend her, you know. But she's still cool with me. Like she'll let me come and stay at her place at any time because she knows the problems I have with my own family. So she doesn't mind having me stay at her place at any time. And she's the only person I guess I could trust. Not fully, because I'm aware like how she's not even intentionally corrupt or dumb like that, but of course she's my mom's mom pretty much, you know. So my mom could do me extremely fucking wrong, and like my grandma, she won't openly go against me, but like she'll, I guess, justify it, but not in a bad way because she could think from both sides too. So like if I tell her about the type of shit my mom would do, my grandma will actually understand, right? But I trust her, but not fully. But I do trust her enough to the point where like I could lean on her, so I could have a place to stay, or at least where I could get away from my family. And not only that, but she does take her time out of her day to help me out too, and she's very cool. And she takes care of me, right? So she's the person I can rely on. She takes good care of me. She makes sure I'm like well fed, that I'm well rested, and that I'm going now, that I'm healthy, that I'm completing my appointments, the things I need to get done. She's really there for me, and I'm very thankful that I have her in my life as well, you know. So a very good grandma. She's very good. But who knows? Maybe it's not even her fault why my mom acts the way she is. Maybe my mom is just a naturally shitty person, or it could be her father figure. But I don't know, man. But and I don't have a real my mom's father, how do I explain this? My mom has a stepdad, right? So like I don't really, so I guess I don't have a real grandpa, but I have a step grandpa, I guess, because my grandpa is not my mom's real dad. So yeah, but so we actually never saw him, but you know. But anyways, so that's a clear indicator that more than likely my mom has daddy issues. Not only that, but I feel like it's deeper than that on why she acts the way she does, man. You know? But it's just fucked up, man. And you people watching this, you guys probably think, oh, I need to respect my mother, this and that. Have some compassion for her, this and that. I mean, I disagree. I understand to where she's coming from on why she acts the way she acts, but I don't respect her. No, fuck that, man. Like, I feel like she crossed too many boundaries and shit, and like, I'm not gonna harm her or anything. I'm just gonna keep my distance away from her. But long story short, my mom, she actually gave me a restraining order, right? Out of nowhere. She gave me a fucking restraining order. And then I was reading on what she put, and again, it was just lies. It was just she wasn't telling the full story. Like that's the thing with dysfunctional family members or narcissistic families or narcissistic mothers. It's like when you react or defend yourself to their bullshit, they take that as an offense, right? Therefore, they'll report or they'll say how you react, right? But they won't say or acknowledge or admit or tell the full story on why you even reacted how the way you did in the first place, on why you even defended yourself in the first place. So, for example, let's say your family members they stole your clothes, right? And then you got angry, right? But then you're trying to be respectful, you're trying to remain calm, and you try to be reasonable, and you ask them why they do the things they did, and let's say they keep lying to you, right? Even though you know damn well, and they know damn well that they're the ones that took your clothes. And they keep dodging accountability, they keep lying, they keep trying you, and then they'll say some slick comments towards you. Then you get fed up, then you get angry, you start to raise your voice, then they'll provoke you even more. And then when you're fed up, and that's reaction abuse, by the way. When you get more fed up and people keep trying you, and they know what they're doing, it's manipulation and they're provoking you. And if you get so pissed, that's reaction abuse. And whenever I reach my limit and get very fed up and angry, when I just lose my shit and get mad, then that's when they'll report to the police. That's when they'll call you crazy. But you see how it adds up, because they're the ones that started this shit. That's how my mother is, man, and it's just fucked up. And she lies, she doesn't take accountability, she lacks communication skills, and she blocks a lot, and she doesn't communicate. Now imagine how traumatizing that is growing up. How frustrating it is, man. And it sucks too, because I'm still relying on them in some way, because all my personal items that I need, like books I love to read, all valuable information, clothes, it's still in their household, and I still need to come back and get my shit, because I don't want them taking my shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, someone in this new my frame in her channel, she mentioned that when she made a black sheep video on New My Frame's channel, she mentioned that like usually if you're the black sheep of the family, they're for some reason they're usually reliant on the toxic families. And that's true, and it makes sense, because obviously if you come from a dysfunctional family, especially if it's you against all 6, 5, 4 family members, yeah, of course you're going to be reliant on them in some way, because if they're not teaching you basic life skills on how to drive a car, on how to have your own place, yeah, you're going to be reliant on them in some way, you know? Especially since they're dysfunctional families, so of course they're not going to have the most wealth in the world. They're not going to be making good money like that. So more than likely, you're going to be raised in the middle of nowhere hometown, or in a very shitty hometown, right? Now imagine you have an absent father, they're all stupid and dysfunctional, right? Imagine having a father where he never taught you how to drive, you never learn about finances, so now you don't have a car, so now you have no option to live at your own place, and now it's just shit, like it's just a huge mess, right? It's a huge fucking mess. But yeah, on the holidays, I don't want to be around them during Christmas. It's almost Christmas during the holidays. With the military, it's called holiday block leave, is where I think you get 2 weeks off. But me, I don't want to visit them. If anything, I will visit not them, but I'm gonna visit my hometown just to secure my personal items and take it back with me. So I'm probably gonna be gone for 1 day and then come back, you know, and then just rest and take the rest of the 2 weeks off in my barracks, right? But yeah, so that's what I'm planning to do. But I'm gonna tell my grandma, tell my mom on what days they're not gonna be at the house, so I can take my personal items with me, and so I don't gotta see them or deal with them, right? If my mom decides to cooperate. But it's just shit like that. Oh, not only that, but so after my mom gave me a restraining order, right? Knowing damn well I'd done nothing wrong, I just confronted her, right? So I think I was supposed to go to court too, and like fuck that, because don't forget, I came to visit my family members from my military summer block leave, which was 2 weeks, right? And like motherfucker, I'm not gonna fucking go to court or have a fucking restraining order and just fuck that. I'm gonna get my 2 weeks off, then go back to my fucking training, like, because I've done nothing wrong. I'm not sure if I was supposed to go to court. I doubt it. No, I think it was just a restraining order. Like, if I refused the restraining order, then I could go to court. I think it was like that. But still, though, it's just like what the fuck? Like, that shit makes no sense. That's how dysfunctional they are. Long story short, I ripped, as soon as I was about to leave, I ripped the restraining order. I put it in the fucking trash, and I left to continue my military training. I blocked all of my family members. And like a month later, it was my birthday, right? And guess who texted me happy birthday? My mom. But she texted me from a different number. And I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And me, I didn't even respond back to her. I wanted to. I have every right to tell her to fuck off or to cuss her out or to like tell her what you did was fucked up. But, I decided, you know what? Because you know how, like, that's the thing too. When you're so fed up, right? When you're so done with someone, this fucking alarm. Hang on. When you're so fed up with someone, right? When you're so over with their shit, I can't really explain it, but it's like your intuition or your heart knows when you just don't want to deal with someone to the point where you don't even want to cuss someone out or you don't want to argue back with someone or go back at someone or to call them out for their bullshit. It's like you reach that point where you don't want to do that because you're so fed up, you're so drained, you're so tired by dealing with that specific person or multiple people. So me, that's how I was feeling, and like I didn't even respond back. I just blocked that number again. I blocked her current number and I blocked that number, and I'll let her figure that shit out for herself. Which I bet she won't because they're fucking stupid. But this shit like that, and I was kind of laughing not because I was happy, but in a way because like it's just fucked up. Like how you gonna give me a restraining order, take my fucking clothes, lie to me, and I'm not telling the full story either. All my siblings, they took place and tried to fuck with me. I had siblings cuss me out through the phone out of nowhere. Trying to defend my mom because my mom lies to my siblings. So then my siblings are turning against me, trying to look at me as a bad guy. They'll cuss me out. They'll threaten me, this and that. They wouldn't pay me back my money. I was trying to help them out. It's just a mess, man. Like, what the fuck? But it's just shit like that where like it's fucked up. Yeah, that's the type of shit I gotta deal with, man. And that's minor shit too. That's minor shit, but yeah, man. If you come from a dysfunctional family, just know that you're not alone. Make sure you seek therapy or some type of help. Make sure you create close friends with people you trust, and just shit like that. But there's a spiritual side to it. Hang on. So let me get more into detail about it. So that same timeline, right? That same week, my twin brother, he's also in the military, right? So like he's fucking weird, right? So like he'll go to the bar a lot, right? Like he'll go to the bar, and then he'll call me at random times during the middle of the night while he's drunk, right? For whatever fucking reason. Like he's just weird. Like he'll call me and then like at one time he'll call me, right? When he was at the bar, it was late at night. It was like 1 a.m., right? And then he wouldn't say anything. He'll just leave the phone on for this whole time. And I'm just like, for like over 30 minutes, I'm just like, what the fuck? So I just hung up on him. It's just shit like it's shit like that where he'll do some shit like that. He's very weird, man. Not only that, but when I'm talking to my twin brother, like he seems very cold-hearted. There's just something off about him. I can't really explain. He's very like cold-hearted. He seems cold, but like, there's just something off. Like he seems robotic. There's something very off about him, and it makes sense because like me and my twin brother, we're not at good terms either. Like he has a history of like projecting his bullshit towards me. He'll lie to other family members about me as well. Very fucked up shit. Like I could go on and on about the type of shit he did to me. Like this one time where like, I asked him if I could get a ride to work. He gave me a ride, and then like he was trying to start some shit with me. So I defended myself, but then he told me to get the fuck out of his car. It was in the middle of the road too. So what the fuck? So I just got out the car. So and then I was running straight to my home to tell my family members on what he did to me. But then of course he had a car, so he was speeding up with his own car, and then he lied to family members about me. And then all my siblings, all my family members, they were yelling at me, and then they locked me out the house, and they were yelling at me, telling me that like I always start fights here and there. So, and then the cops got involved, and then I was late to my work. I missed the whole day. It resulted in me and different siblings fist fighting. I had to call the police, and I had to move away from their house, and I had to live at my grandma's house, and then I missed my day of work. I got in trouble, and then that resulted in me having to leave my workplace. So it's fucked up shit like that, man. It's ridiculous, but But on that same time, right, while my mom she put a restraining order on me, that same week, my twin brother well, first with his situation, well, that same night when he found out about that, he called me through the phone and he cussing me out. I'm just like, you're a pussy. Like, if you're gonna talk all that shit, say that shit in front of my face. Don't say it behind the phone. And that was after like he went to my grandma's house so he could drop off some of my personal clothes to me to grandma's house. And then as soon as he drove away, that's when he called me and started cussing me out. And I'm just like and yelling for like over 30 minutes. And I wasn't responding back because he was yelling on top of his lungs. But the type of shit he'll say, it sounded like he was projecting, right? And I didn't even say anything. But then I showed my grandma, and I put the phone on speaker so that my grandma know how crazy he is. But it's just draining, man. I'll question God on like, why would you put me through these types of situations? Why would you allow me to even go or experience these types of situations in life? Like, why would you do that? Like, why? So like sometimes I ask God and like why would you put me through these conflicting, confusing, fucked up situations where I can't even explain myself properly or defend myself without people thinking I'm crazy, you know what I'm saying? But it's I can only take so much. Like, this shit's draining, you know, like it's very draining. And it's just like that's why I had to come contact with all of them, because it's just like fuck, man, you know. But where was I? Oh yeah, but that same fucking twin brother, right? So like, he owed me like around over $300, because one, he'll constantly have tickets because he'll always speed up, so he had multiple speeding tickets. He's not responsible with his money because clearly he always goes to the bar and calls me, right? He always goes out wasting his money, so he's always asking me to borrow my money from him. And like me, I'm a very cool, forgiving person, so I give him his money here and there. It was before my mom gave me a restraining order, but like I constantly send him $100, $200, $50, this and that, and like it'll take him a long time to pay me back, and then he'll keep asking for more and more. But that's the only time he'll call me. But I've noticed he's kind of manipulative too. So like he'll call me, right, and then we'll have like a conversation. He'll ask me, oh, how I'm doing, how's training, this and that. He'll give me some advice and that, and then after every conversation, he'll ask me towards the end, hey, can I borrow some money, or do you mind sharing me some money, or hey, you got any money? So like, I could be wrong, but I think one of the reasons why he wants to call me and form good conversations is so he could take from me, so he could take money from me, right? And then after we fought, and now fast forward, not fast forward, the same day my mom gave me a restraining order, and the same day he cussed me out through the phone like a little bitch he is. I asked him to pay me back my money over $300. It was probably even more. He refused to do that. He was trying to start an argument with me, and he refused to pay me back. And then that resulted in, and I was trying to be reasonable with him. I tried texting him, calling him, this and that, and he was away from the house at the time. He was trying to start some shit with me, and like I got fed up. So then it resulted in me, again, it's reaction abuse. I got fed up. I started yelling at him through the phone. I started yelling at him through the phone. I started like to cuss him out, this and that, and then he eventually did pay me back. But then he texted me like a smart ass comment, this and that. I'm just like, whatever, man. At least I got my money, right? But and that's the thing too, man. Oh, and on that, but when that same week, right? So when my family members, when they put a restraining order on me, and like my mom, she had work at the time, so like nobody was at the house, right? So the whole doors were locked, and then I got fed up because again my mom blocked me, right? So, and she lacks communication skills, so I keep telling. So I'm trying to tell my grandma to tell my mom that, hey, I need my personal clothes. No, it's not even that. No, it's close too, but like, I told my grandma to tell my mom that I need some paperwork for the military that I need, right? I forgot what the paperwork was, but I needed some paperwork, right? And I needed extra clothes and extra like duffel bags to take with me for training, right? because I knew since they're gonna keep throwing my shit away, I might as well pack all my shit with me when it comes to clothes and other personal items. But I also needed some important paperwork I need to take with me, right? And of course, my mom blocked me, or either that, and she refused to communicate with me properly. So the only person I could get a hold of was my grandma and tell her to tell my mom that I need to get to the house to get this and that. And then my grandma keep telling me that my mom is not responding to my grandma, that she's refusing to give her answers, this and that. And then I'm just so pissed, right? So I got fed up, so I decided to take Uber. Like, I spent over $30 worth of Uber because my grandma lives far from my mom's house. So I had to waste more money. So I went to the house. I was trying to go through the door. Everything was locked. I tried going through the gates. The gates was locked. So I went back to the house. The back of the house was locked. So I decided to, again, climb all the way back to the house. And I broke into, like, a window. And it comes to find out, guess who was in that room? My twin brother. And he was hiding. His door was locked, and he was just standing in a corner. My twin brother. So he knew I was in the house. And I was knocking. I was ringing the doorbell at the house for like a good 50 minutes. Oh, and while I was doing that, I heard someone lock. And while that happened, I heard someone close a door here and there. And it's just like, I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, if you're not, and like, yeah, and when I got in the room, my twin brother, guess what he did? He didn't do shit. The same guy who has the balls to cuss me out and act tough behind the phone screen, to cuss me out through the phone, he's that same fucking person, right? Who wouldn't do shit. Once I saw him in person, he didn't do shit. He just froze up. He looked scared. I was staring right at him. I'm like, are you fucking serious? And I told him that, listen, I have every right to fuck you up, but like, no, I didn't say that. I said, listen, I know you're not about that life. I know you're very scared. I know you feel very comfortable, and I know you like talking shit behind the phone screen, which is fine. But I'm not gonna do anything. All I'm gonna do is gonna take the paperwork I need for training, my personal clothes to take with me. That's all I'm gonna do. But if you ever lay any type of hands on me, I will fight back. I'm not gonna fight you, even though I have every right to. But I'm aware that you're not about that life and that you like to act tough behind the phone. So I'm not gonna do anything. But if you do lay a hand on me, I will fight back. And that's what I said to him, pretty much. And he was like, okay. Like, he was very quiet. Very quiet. Oh yeah, and then once I got my clothes, right, then he left the house with his car, right? And it was that same day, remember I told you guys that he cussing me out behind the phone because he owed me money. Because while I was getting my stuff, I was like, oh shoot, you owe me money. So I texted him this and that, and that's when he decided to like argue with me and just shit like that. So yeah, man. And there's a lot more shit he done too. Like, I don't want to explain because it's gonna be a long video, but it's shit like that, man. Where you deal with it's just how it is when you're dealing with toxic family members, man. It's bullshit like that. It's just very petty shit, you know. It's fucked up, man. It's very lonely and isolating. But there's a spiritual side to it from my own beliefs, and I've learned from other spiritual channels as well, and from conscious community, the spiritual community. There's a lot of spiritual channels out there that talk about dysfunctional families, that talk about generational curses, right? Now, again, when you're the black sheep, if you're the scapegoat of the family, when you're experiencing bullshit from your family, more than likely, basically, an overview from what I've learned from spiritual channels and that I personally believe. I don't know too much, so hopefully I won't come across as wrong. But basically, what it is that it's basically it's a generational curse, and you're meant to be here so you can break these curses, right? So you can heal in the sin, so you can heal your family's bloodlines, heal your family's trauma, and you can heal yourself. And more than likely, you're meant for great things, and you're meant to break free from these curses and become very successful away from your family, right? Now, since we have free will, I personally believe we have free will. One, I say fuck my family, fuck my bloodlines, fuck my ancestors, fuck all of them. I don't want to work with them. I don't want to be around them. If I ever be wealthy or very rich one day, I don't want my family members, my ancestors, my bloodline to have nothing to do with it. None of my wealth, none of my success, because they don't fucking deserve it. Yes, they put me into this world. Yes, they've gave me shelter, food, and water, which they're obligated to do. But when it comes to protecting me, having my back, they lack on that, and they failed that at a large scale. So they don't deserve my success. I say fuck them, right? But again, everyone's situation is different. So like, if you forgive your families, then hey, share your success with them if you want. But me personally, I'm not about that. I'm not with that shit. I feel like they've done too much shit. There's a lot of things I need to overcome and heal in this lifetime from their bullshit. So like, once I reach to the top, I want nothing to do with them. You know, but but yeah, but it's a spiritual thing to it. You're meant to break these generational curses. It doesn't even come with it doesn't even have to be in specific family situations. It could come into your relationship patterns as well. At least for me, because I've dealt with a lot of emotionally unavailable people, and my mom is very emotionally unavailable. I had an absent father, so like my father, he's here, he's present. He didn't dip out, but like he's just very absent. He doesn't communicate as much, and he never taught me shit growing up. So, you know, but where was I? What was I gonna say? I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, but basically it's a generational curse. So like, you're meant to break free from these habits, but these generational curses, in my opinion, I think I got these from other spiritual channels as well. Forgot, but basically, it doesn't just come in form with family members. It comes in form with friends, the people you meet, your life situations, this and that. You pretty much taking in the energy of the trauma of what your bloodline had to experience. So if you experience any financial curses, this and that, more than likely your family bloodlines, your family, they've also experienced financial curses. So like, if you had that fear, or if you're struggling with finances, or if you have bad spending habits, try to study your family members or your ancestral bloodline, try to learn from them, and then try to overcome that. Because like me, like I have a tough time with money. I tend to overspend a lot. I have a lot of control because I'm so used to people taking my shit. So like, I'm so protective over my shit, and I just want to buy a lot of clothes, a lot of stuff for control, because I'm so used to people taking my shit. And not only that, but I'm so used to things happening to me unexpectedly that are losses, like unexpected breakups from relationships, unexpected situations where my personal belongings were taken away from me, like the situation with my mom. Just unexpected behaviors from family members where like they'll turn on me, or like they'll disrespect me, or like they'll fight me physically and verbally out of nowhere. It's shit like that where I've experienced a lot of shit that happened to me unexpectedly. So I feel like that also the reason why I have a tough time with money, because like I tend to buy a lot of shit on the spot because I want control, you know, and that's the thing I need to overcome and work on. So like, I just gotta learn how to save more, you know. But yeah, but it could vary. Also with relationships, where if you're constantly dating like emotionally unavailable partners, then more than likely your family have those same traits, and you're meant to overcome and heal that from yourself. Now again, I'm gonna make this clear. Me, I didn't make this up on my own. I learned these from other spiritual channels, and I think I've learned these from other therapy like channels as well, like from professional therapy channels. So like, again, it's just a YouTube video, just from my own experiences. Don't take what I say too hard, or like don't take my advices. At the end of the day, if you're experiencing the same thing, make sure you seek out professional help. Make sure you seek out guidance from professionals. Don't take my advice. This video is more so of my life story or my life experience dealing with toxic family members. And yeah, don't forget to seek out professional help if you experience the same thing, and don't take my words too hard. And that's pretty much it. I can go more detail, but I'm tired. It's been a long video, so it's already almost an hour. So yeah, comment down below your experiences if you also experienced shitty family members, or comment like what you think about the situation. And yeah, this is a life. This is a little. I'm kind of bored too, so it's kind of like a life. That's why I'm talking about it. But yeah, comment down below if you experience the same shit, or you know people who experience the same shit, and like, comment, subscribe, dislike, and have a good one. And I'm out. Peace.